Workman. Thank you for always coming to council. God love you. When Sebby called me, I said, Sherrie, we'd like you to talk. What do you want to talk about? I go, oh my gosh, I could talk for a long time about stuff, but let me talk about school recycling, because that would be the easiest. But it's very complex what I do, because I have 3 subject matters I talk about as the Director of Education for the Raleigh County Solid Waste Authority, a position I've had for 18 years. I left the newspaper business in 2001 after 9/11. Our nest was empty. Our youngest daughter was going to college, and this opportunity, the Lord didn't close the door, He opened the door. And so everybody was having services after 9/11, and it's important to tell you how this all came about. And everybody was having services, and everybody had those flags on their car antennas, and we were very patriotic. And so after our service at church one night, I always have a little spiral notebook on my coffee table, and my husband goes, oh, you're writing a letter to the girls. And I go, no, I'm writing my letter of resignation. What? You're leaving the newspaper office for the dump? And I go, I am. And he said, Sherrie, you're going to talk about trash? And I said, I've been asked to start a school recycling program in the county. I'm the first educator. I'm a corporate trainer for Thompson newspapers. And here I am. I'm going to be able to educate kids about the landfill, being a good steward of the environment, and starting from scratch a school recycling program. And I could not have done what we've done. And we like to say that lessons learned early are often lessons learned best. And who has helped me do that is none other than Mr. Bob Lennon. He has been an advocate for recycling from the get-go. I knew Detlef when he was an engineer at Alliance Consulting, and that was the very, very beginning. So Detlef and I have known each other for over 18 years. So you have to understand that we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. This was about the group of I went to Dr. Charlotte Hutchins, and I said, Dr. Hutchins, we'd like to start a school recycling program. Really? I said, yes, we would in Raleigh County. She said, great. Talk to the elementary principals. So you guys are the elementary principals. So of all of the schools in the city, in the county, 10 raised their hand. They said, we want to be involved. God loved his heart. Melvin Ross was a principal at Stratton Elementary. Melvin said, I don't want to do that. We need to say, but yes, I'll do it, Sherrie. So I'm going, there's one, thank you. And then one was the newspaper. So that was my challenge. People knew me from doing Southern Living Cooking School and the Register Herald this or that, or the school auction. I'm going, no, I'm the Director of Education for the Solid Waste Authority, and we are starting a comprehensive school recycling program. So at the end of the day, I want to fast forward. 10 Raleigh County principals raise their hand. I go to St. Francis, that's my I went to St. Francis as a little girl. My dad was one of the founding fathers. So I go to the principal and I said, Karen, we'd like to start a school recycling program. St. Francis on board. Yeah, you better believe it. That first year, we didn't have a state-of-the-art recycling center. We hand-sorted everything where the mercantile is. Did you ever been to the Last Chance Mercantile? Right there at the, Mr. Lemon. Yeah. Going into the gates.
Absolutely.
So that was our recycling center.
Yes.
And so the guys, I had, honest to goodness, my husband said, corporate trainer, going to Canada, going to New York, and you're going to the dump. And I'm going, I love what I do. I love it. It's wonderful. I love going there every day. I had a trailer and a plywood board and a set of bath scales and a driver. And so we had a schedule. Monday we'd go to this school, Tuesday we'd go to that school, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So at the end of the year, I have that book, I have every post-it note, I have, because I'm kind of like that, 47 tons recycled that first year.
Wow.
You would have thought I was given an island of my own. I was so excited. So, Mr. the second year.
Can you speak
Two
up a little
thousand,
bit?
that was 2001,
Speak up a
2002.
little bit too, Sherry.
Do what?
Speak up a little bit.
Oh, speak up. Oh, I didn't know it was being filmed.
Okay.
Okay. So, the next year, Fairdale Elementary dropped off. They needed to concentrate on other things, but that's okay. 10 schools recycled 125 tons.
Wow.
Holy cow. So, this is where I want to show you. And I'll give everyone, and this is kind of interesting reading, because that's just, so, this shows last year, and how much the schools earned, what their grade was, how well their bin was packed, and the blue shows who had aluminum can drives. Now, I don't want Mr. Bob to be able to, I want him to be able to go home and get his head out the door. But I want you to know that those, look at, Shady Spring Elementary recycled 1,360 pounds of aluminum cans. Now, that's a big deal, but when you recycle aluminum cans, you save bauxite. Bauxite is the coal that makes aluminum. So he has saved, this man is a force to be reckoned with, because you have a man that's passionate about the environment. 1,360 pounds. So last school year, whole school year, last year, 358.49 tons. And the schools earned $9,362 and change. That's not our money. I write letters to businesses and ask them if they want to be a member of the corporate green team. Right now, I have $10,250 in green team money that will be dispersed cumulatively to all the schools. Okay, a little bit, you see on the edge how much. Check out Trap Hill Middle School. Trap Hill Middle School. Bob Lehman has a bullseye on his back because they want to beat Shady Elementary so badly.
Last year it was Daniels.
It
Remember
was
the call from Daniels?
Oh yeah, they call from Daniels. Now Daniels and Shady don't like each other, even though they get together at Shady Middle and then the high school together. And those guys do form and girls form a bond. But I just want to tell you, Bob has inspired others not to keep on harping on him. Jean Evansmore inspires others when she's doing her racing and everything. I met Jean at our 2012 Earth Day race many years ago, and there she is. And it was so cold, it was spitting snow, but that lady ran the marathon. That lady right there. So that's why I love you. I don't want to give you a big one. Okay. So.
Don't give me the big head.
It's all right.
I was a 70 winner.
That's exactly what you were. She has a medal to prove it.
Nobody else, other people won't do it.
Yeah, I know.
They're not women.
When I think about this, and I made copies and I didn't bring them. I even went to the office to make them. When you add all of the years up last year at the end of our 17th year, when you think of $222,904, that's what schools have earned in 17 years. So what does the U.S. government do with paper that they make that they can't? This is $10,000 of shredded paper that was made incorrectly. And what does the U.S. government do? The Department of Engraving, they sell it, and silly people like the Solid Waste Authority buy it to show you that this is what happened. I went to the bank one day just to be silly. And because I'm silly, and I had my deposit ticket, I had a little satchel, and I went and I told the bank president and this young girl behind, and I said, so we don't want to make a deposit, and it was, I already had my deposit slip for $10,000. She went, I'm going to recycle $10,000. I went, yes, my husband doesn't want me to, but I am. And I did this. She went, I put it up on the counter. She went, is that $10,000? Yes, and it's recycled money. It's really valuable. She went, she did not, she, are you right, is that really $10,000? I mean, so then, by that time, she went, I think I gotta get the bank supervisor. I went, honey, listen, I don't mean to be, but this is real money. Don't just want to, and I had told,
Right,
President, I was going out there, but this really is, this is when they make money, like, let's say the $1 bill comes off and it has, you have two eyes, but the money has 4 eyes and 2 noses, and they made it incorrectly, then they chop it up, because they can't really give somebody money that, somebody has 4 eyes.
Or if they don't catch it and they actually put it out in circulation,
Then
it's
it's
worth a
very,
lot.
a lot of, it's worth a whole lot of money, a whole lot of money.
And if you go to the recycling center and try to find it, it's real hard to find, cause Sherrie hides that in her office.
I don't take
She
much
uses
of
it as a pillow.
All right. So, aluminum, okay, paper and cardboard, and compost. Do you know, because if I would have remembered, Della, my periodic table, as much as I remember this useless information, I would be an astrophysicist. But anyway, compost. The city of Baltimore composts their food waste, and they make hoity-toity, because in 45 days it's topsoil, and they sell it as a revenue source for the Baltimore City Schools. Yes, love?
You would, I'm pretty sure you would be dealing with chemicals, not so much an astrophysicist.
Oh, okay, well, a lot of different things, or any kind of science stuff. Oh, okay. So,
They're completely different.
plastic. So, all of these things we should not ever, ever throw away. This is chopped up plastic before it, this is what it looks like when it comes from the recycling center, when it goes to a mill. Somebody asked me, where does all of our recyclables go? Well, I'm so glad you asked that question, because this is the best one I have. The people that make milk duds buy our paper to make their cardboard boxes. So, we want you to eat a lot of milk duds. It's job security for me and your dentist, because it pulls out your fillings. So this is one thing. So, what happens to plastic? It becomes, this is fiberfill, and this is the process in which EcoSpun is made. There's the tips right there, there's the flax, and then it becomes fabric. So if anybody has on any Patagonia, any type of material like that, that is totally recyclable, and this is,
I think this one is.
I think yours is plastic.
I don't know.
And very insulate, yours is probably wool, which is great, that's a wonderful, wonderful. But the EcoSpun is what is derived from plastic bottles. This is what it looks like before it becomes material. Okay. So, at the Raleigh County Solid Waste Authority, there are only 2 landfills that are doing this. This is your landfill. So this is where, now people get bummed out when they can't recycle. And Detlef knows this and I know this, but I gotta tell you. For every ton of waste that comes across the scales at the landfill, $1 goes in for recycling grants. So recycling grants are generated by people coming to a landfill. We have a landfill that will accept waste for the next 300 years. It's out of sight, out of mind, you can't see it. You want your haulers to take the garbage, but where does it come? It comes to Miss Sherrie. Well, actually, it does come. Well, I'm at the recycling center down the road, which is on site, but what I want to tell you is your Raleigh County landfill, if you look at a map of the Mississippi, if you look at a map of the United States, east of the Mississippi River, and you probably heard this statistic, there's not another landfill like ours. We have a state-of-the-art recycling center. Our classroom holds 100 students. Our classroom is up on the 3rd floor overlooking the kids that are the recycling plant. We have a state-of-the-art landfill. We have 10 liners on the landfill to protect, when you said water, I got a segue into the landfill operations. We have to protect the integrity of the groundwater, and we have 10 liners that we put on top of the ground before we bury trash. We're also addressing the methane gas. And there's 28 wells on
That's
top of that landfill that are now, I have a few cards that show that there's, 1,900 families that are getting energy from our landfill. Those can be. So,
Should I pass these out?
you can, yeah, probably one per row so that they can kind of look at it. So that shows the New River Clean Energy Plant. That plant costs $5 million. We have a partnership with a company in Atlanta, so we are getting revenue dollars for that, but it costs $5 million to create the New River Clean Energy Plant. And it's very, very true. Someone's trash is becoming somebody's electricity. This is really amazing. So this shows 100,000 tons of waste dumped per year at the Raleigh County landfill. 50% is methane gas. We have the New River Clean Energy Plant and greenhouse gas. I mean, methane gas is a terrible for the ozone layer. So look, 1,994 families. It's by,
Well, what
They
happens
flip
to
it.
the, greenhouse gas?
well, it's protected now because now we're not taking the methane gas isn't going up
It's
into
being
the ozone.
pumped through and
We're
ran
being-
into a Herzog, and it's creating electricity.
Now it's great. There's two big generators that cost $750,000 each, and they are scrubbing the methane and producing. So that's what we're doing with the Raleigh County.
That was amazing.
And we're the only. So when people go, "You're doing that at Beckley, West Virginia," Governor Justice talks about that we are at the top of the list in bad stuff, and that at the good list we're not really. One of these things, we are really, really good on the good list. We are so proud of our landfill operations. We have people. We want to host you in a presentation. Bija, let you see your landfill. We have waste from Raleigh, Fayette, Monroe, Summers, Nicholas. It all comes to the Raleigh County landfill.
So she's offering that we can, that as a fellowship, we can do a tour.
Yep.
She can schedule a tour for us and maybe.
So Scott was really, really excited when I brought out the Hershey Kisses, and these are going to be for Debbie to take home. So, but let me tell you about Hershey Kisses. Every bit of that aluminum that's there, Hershey Kisses were wrapped by hand until 1921 when a machine was made. They wrap more than 60 million Hershey Kisses a day, which covers 10 football fields. That and all of the aluminum on those can be recycled. You can save it, and it's really funny because it's like, oh, thank you. Oh, okay.
What about the paper?
Thank you, Mr. Ball. The paper, well, that's trash.
That little,
That little thing's trash.
You
Yeah,
can
that
recycle
little thing's
that.
trash.
Go in the recycle
Yeah.
bin.
Yeah, we're gonna recycle it. Yeah. So what
You're
thank you, Mr. Ball. Thank you. One. Okay, so let me show you. It's funny. Not only do I talk about landfill operations and school recycling programs, I talk about litter and being a good steward of the environment. And it's really funny, I didn't bring it in here because I didn't want to make it, cigarette litter. Last night, somebody flipped did you see it? Somebody flipped a cigarette butt at the Beaver McDonald's.
I
and
saw
caught
that.
Caught their mulch on fire.
Is
So,
that what
and that
happened?
was a statement by the Beaver Volunteer Fire Department. I sent a message to Scott Allison last night, whose family owns the McDonald's, and he said, I can't say what caused it, but in this morning's paper, Beaver Volunteer Fire Department gave the thing that it was a cigarette butt that was flipped on. So that's the most littered item all over the world.
You see it on the sides of the highways,
Oh, we
all
did.
over the place.
We did a cigarette
Where
litter.
They catch little fires.
On April 3rd was our friend Susan Landis, and she celebrated her heavenly birthday, and she left our life
Yeah, I see
way too early.
here and there where people have emptied their whole,
Ashtray.
ashtray.
Yeah, it's awful.
Uh,
And so what happens
They
is,
said that's the biggest litter on beaches. and
it
stuff.
is, yes, it is. We did a cigarette litter sweep, around Courthouse Square and Shoemaker Square to honor Susan Landis the other day. Susan and I and Raleigh County Make It Shine, our mission statement is to improve the appearance, pride, and marketability of Beckley in Southern West Virginia. And so this is what happened. I saw it with my own eyes, so I'm gonna tell you how this played out. We're at Shoemaker Square in Uptown Beckley, and this young man dressed, he was a nice looking kid. He went, took a drag, he said, I've never spoken on it, took a drag and in front of Susan, he goes, there you go, you can work on more of your sentence. She went, in her school teacher voice, excuse me, young man. He went, yes. She went, that's litter, would you mind picking it up? I'm a volunteer. He picked it up and he went, and this is what he said. She didn't say it. He went, that's a teachable moment, I'll never do it again.
Right.
And it was, he said that to the teacher. I said, good for you. And so Susan, we love you and thank you. So we had a litter sweep and we're gonna have, we have butlers and we're sweeping all over. It's kind of unbelievable what litter is all over. Carol.
Do you have any idea how long it takes for those, cigarette butts to degrade and then?
12 years.
12 years? Oh, that's something.
They're made out of plastic acetate.
Are there any that are made, with biodegradable paper?
No, well, no. So what happens is, because the filter is made that way to accept the nicotine. So yesterday I was in a meeting, there was a lawyer beside me and I saw and he had smoked and then came inside, he reached in his pocket to get a mint and he had a cigarette butt in his pocket. And I thought, good for you, he field stripped, which you're taught in the military to do. Field strip the tobacco on it and then have your filter in your pocket. And so, but they don't have those. They don't have, the tobacco itself, that's one on biodegradable, that's one on the paper. But the thing about it is that plastic acetate stays on the beaches forever. They have literally made grabbers that have suction cups that can pick up the litter. So I've gone from school recycling to landfill operations to talking about the environment. If you can turn around and look at that poster in the window over there, without saying anything, Sabina, do you have any idea what that is? Gene Evansmore, you would probably know
Recycled
what that is.
paper.
Your name isn't Gina.
Recycled paper made
My
into
name
art.
isn't Scott either.
I bet you know what that is. You're gonna see that and I'm putting Gene on the spot being there. Except for the octopus in the river, that's the New River Gorge Bridge, that's made out of pieces of cardboard and cereal boxes. The children that are at Burlington, some of them are wards of the state, and some are just there for a short period of time. They created that in 1/2 an hour. And when I got that, I said, I've got to take that because the closer you get, you can see the cars that they have on the bridge. But they use those Cheez-It crackers to be the basis of the bridge. So the reason I brought that is someday I would like to come back if you'll have me. And I will bring everything you need for you to make your own collages out of
No, thank you.
out of cereal boxes. They're really, really cool. There's a guy, you can Google him, Michael Albert. He's a pop artist, we've had him in town before. And he makes he's made the Gettysburg Address, the preamble to the Constitution, the 23rd Psalm, and all these things from cereal boxes. Did you see that? Isn't it cool?
Yeah, I couldn't see it from over there.
Oh, is it? It
I
is really cool.
actually met him at 4-H.
So, yeah, that's a cool thing to do it for. So let me show you something else. I've been working on some stuff because I knew that I was gonna see Stephanie and you guys. So, I'm getting into what you can do with stuff. So, I want you to know that this I made for you. This is my card. Isn't it beautiful? Isn't that a beautiful card? You can put your little message in it. Isn't that pretty? Isn't that pretty? This is made by a napkin. This was a napkin.
Oh.
Okay, so I have a lot of these cards that I've made so that everybody can have. And what you do,
She's our card maker.
are you our card maker? Oh, I'm not gonna give
She's
you
a
these because
professional.
these aren't as pretty as they was. I'm gonna
Very lovely.
She's
Oh, my
she's
gosh.
professional.
Sherry's not a professional by any stretch of the imagination. But I was proud of this one the other day because this little girl butterflies.
My birthday's
So-
coming up, so any card you wanna give me, I will cherish.
Oh, there you go.
My birthday was March the 8th, so I will also accept birthday cards.
Okay, well, being that I want you to know about the mercantile, there's treasures in here for everybody. Now, these are actually antiques that are in here that might be of value someday, but everybody can dig in here and get one for themselves. Because I go to the mercantile one day and I see these and I go, there's no way that those are at the mercantile. I cannot let those be there, so. There's a
Some of
little
us do that
story
with
about
the,
this.
the roadside.
So you
What is the
take,
mercantile?
get one and.
What is
well,
the
let's shop.
mercantile?
Do what?
What is the mercantile?
The mercantile. Hey, Gene, you wanna tell them what the
No,
mercantile is?
this is,
It is
yeah,
I call it the shop.
it's the
It's
shop.
the goodwill of the dump, okay?
It's a goodwill at the dump.
Goodwill of the dump.
Yeah.
You go there, you can find all kinds of
Everybody
things.
has some.
Okay.
Sometimes people don't recognize that you can find things still in their original wrappers.
So it's things people have taken to the landfill that have been
That-
That
rescued
have been
Right.
rescued,
and put in the shop.
Right, and they're in
So it helps the shop.
are delivered right to them for no charge. One of the double beds in my bedroom came from Mercantile. It's an old,
It is a store at the mercantile. Up at the top, you cannot pick anything out of the dumpster. So somebody goes across the scales, they pay $41.75.
Per ton.
Well, per ton, thank you, per ton, but up to 500 pounds is $10. And then every landfill West Virginia has a free day. Let me tell you what you're getting here. Those are Bell Atlantic keychains from back in the day. And so give everybody a keychain, everybody, give everybody a keychain. Those ended up at the mercantile. My father-in-law, who just passed a couple of months before his 92nd birthday, was an employee of Bell Atlantic. Those are old. So a whole case of those ended up. So,
I have one of these. I don't have a clue where I got it, but
oh, you got it, maybe it's a mercantile, maybe you pick one up.
yeah.
So there you go.
There's probably another organization I'm part of that got.
Maybe they gave them out, yeah. So everybody gets one. Now, Debbie, I wasn't being
my new four-wheeler key.
Die.
Never mind.
I'm back, you're in front of the camera.
okay, so, whenever I give a presentation, number one, thank you so much for asking me. And because of that, I wanna give you your own little role.
Oh,
So this is a part of the Stanley Cup of World in her hand. This is a marble that shows all of the continents. And this is for you. Oh, I'll give it. Oh, you're saying.
And your washer.
And your washer. Yes, down this way. So, welcome.
We did a wire wrapping class here at one point, and we wrapped the ones I have,
Oh,
we wrapped them and turned them into necklaces.
Did you? Oh, that's awesome. All right, so at the end of every presentation, I think.
Your
I'll
favorite
talk about
subby.
They're running low on marbles.
Okay,
The
everybody
marbles.
raise their hand and say, Miss Sherrie,
Miss
Sherrie.
Sherrie.
we promise
We promise.
that we will always be,
We'll always be
litter getters,
a litter
never
getter.
litter bugs,
Never litter bugs.
and will always
Always.
reduce, reuse, recycle.
Reduce, reuse, recycle.
And
What's that
with
look
that, I will tell you that
Oh,
I had a really, really serious accident 14 years ago in June. And it is a modern day miracle that I'm here. And so on June the 16th, I'm really not 65, I'm gonna be 14. So it was that, there have been so many people that I have met since my unfortunate accident. But I want you to know that every day is a blessing. And I'm blessed to be here with you guys. Thank you. Thank you, sweetheart. Love you guys.
Bob can vouch for us.
Yeah.
Oh, that's how I seen him, he told me Wednesday he wasn't gonna be here, cause he recycles at my school all the time.
Thank
They
you.
took the bins away from Kroger, remember, in the parking lot
Yeah.
there?
They were too full of trash.
That's Sam.
And Sam, let me tell you what, Sam, I still have enough time.
Yeah.
So Sam's corporate called me. They said, Sherrie, you're the director of education, solid waste authority, and I said, yes. And they said, we want you to come and talk to us about placing bins here. And I said, we'd be glad to. And so that was through Sam's corporate asked that. But because people were contaminating them with commodes, doors.
Commodes?
No,
Trash.
you
Yeah,
should
commo-
see
you
what
would not
comes
believe-
in these.
Television, it was
Yes.
awful. It was like one day, there were, you know, you buy big cat food in those real big sturdy bags, or dog food,
Yeah.
and inside there were used diapers.
Oh, no.
Diapers inside there. So by the time they dump all that, they've contaminated everything on the plant
Right.
floor. So then corporate, I love it when they call. I feel like I'm really important. They go, "Oh, Sherrie, thank you. We've loved recycling with you since 2004, but now because people are contaminating, and our parking lot looks terrible, you gotta take them away." But we have our school recycling flyers at, let's see, I digress. We have them at, these are the things that you can and can't recycle. And we have bins out in the county so that when people don't have curbside, they can go to Call City or Shady Spring High School or Shady Middle or Elementary. And so those are the products that we do accept. Now, someone said, what about plastics? Only because, he helped write that. The mills, who takes our product? People buy our stuff on the East Coast. However, 2 weeks ago, our recycling director gets an email. The value of cardboard has plummeted because of the tariffs. We have aluminum blocks that
I had
are
saw two of them
yay
last year.
big, as big as this area right here, which weigh about 1,900 pounds. Bob knows what I'm talking about, and we have them in storage at our facility to wait for the markets to rebound. Because it's the right, now, we don't want to put those recyclables in the landfill. We don't want to do that. And so the right thing to do is just to keep on, but there are, April, all over the nation, there are recycling places that have just folded up because they can't. We have landfill operations, but this is what people don't know about Bethlehem. So you go across the scales and you pay up to $10, 500 pounds is $10. You pay your hauler, my guys, they kill garbage, and my husband pays our bills, my dad. And they're like, it's like $18 a month. We don't get to keep all that $41.75. We send Charleston $8.50. So that's just the Raleigh County landfills assessment. In a year's time, guess how much we send Charleston? Now, there are 17 landfills in the state of West Virginia. We all send an assessment back to Charleston. Guess what the Raleigh County landfill sends? Would you want to guess? Between $900,000 and $1 million a year to Charleston. So there's $17 million in that pot. But who gets that money? Recycling grants, West Virginia Make It Shine, PPOT, Pollution Prevention Open Dumping, different places, West Virginia Wildflower, conservation officers. Everybody gets a little piece of that pie. So that's why we send that assessment to Charleston. And I know that gets too, but anyway, the state's doing good stuff. And the first 2 weeks in April, let me tell you about a group of yesterday. The Odd Community Watch people started at Westview Missionary Baptist Church. They cleaned up 7 miles of highway yesterday. 7 miles, 25 people from the Odd Community Watch people. Yeah. We did a litter sweep on Harper Road, Raleigh County Make It Shine, on the chair, Raleigh County Make It Shine. Since 2003, we've had litter sweeps all over. And it inspires others to put that orange vest on and grab her and say, I invite you one more time to come be with me at the landfill. We'll give you a nice lunch. It won't be recycled pizza, I promise. It'll be new pizza. So you just let me know when it's good for you. I'll look at May 5th and see if that's good for.
Maybe we could arrange our own, community cleanup team.
We used
All
to
those
have,
things, absolutely,
we
I
used
got
to
the
have